It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I am going to be your host for this robust lifestyle show. Please check out our website, divasthatcare.com, and see all the amazing hosts and their shows of women they are interviewing around the world. I am so very excited today to have a returning diva, Nadine Hatzatolius McGill, with me today, and she is going to speak about 3 things smart women do that undermine their confidence and success. Oh, wow. I am truly excited and interested in this. Nadine, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself today?
Sure. Thank you for having me on the show. I am from Alberta, Canada. I'm sitting up here freezing to death right now because it is snowing like crazy. And I'm trying to stay warm as we do this interview. I've been in Alberta for 15 years now. I'm originally from Saskatchewan, but we moved to around Canada and then ended up in Alberta. I'm a mom of 2 young adult children who are out on their own now, and I have lots of time to do the things that I have waited to do while I was raising them. And one of them is what we're talking about here today, and that is empowering women to increase their confidence so that they can live the lives that they want.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. That sounds so exciting. Wow. You've always lived around Canada and just kind of moved around, and now you have the opportunity to be working with women. How exciting. Well, kind of told us, but how is this cause so near and dear to you? Can you explain to our listeners that, Nadine?
I certainly can. It is near and dear to me, and actually gets me very emotional because it is a journey that I've been on most of my life to figure out who I am and what I have to offer the world. And it became apparent to me that I was actually struggling. It was more subconscious, and it became very apparent to me when I watched one of my children one day standing outside of a group that he was supposed to be engaging with. And I kept watching him, and I thought, why is he standing there like that? Why isn't he engaging and getting involved? And it was an activity he liked and wanted to be involved. And I thought, oh my goodness, I wonder if he is not confident at all. And if he is not confident at all, that is a reflection of me, because your children mirror you. Mm-hmm. And so I started to really pay attention to how I was acting, my behavior out in the world, what I was thinking in my mind throughout the day, and I realized that was true, that it was a lack of confidence, and it came from never feeling worthy, never being a part of groups like I was like him. I used to stand on the outside trying to figure out how to belong, how to fit in, what do I do to make friends? I couldn't figure it out, and I actually thought there was something wrong with me. And that's how I spent at least 3 decades of my life, trying to figure out what is it that is going on here, what is wrong, because I don't feel good, and what can I do about it? And that is why it is near and dear to my heart, because I feel like I spent way too much time trying to figure that out, and I don't want other women to be stuck that long in that kind of feeling.
Oh, wow. Yes. And so many women can relate to that, I'm sure, on being stuck in that, just kind of standing on the outside looking in and saying, why? Was your son then kind of your aha moment that made you see that this is the path you needed to be taking?
Yes,
or was
he was my first.
He was your first.
He was my
okay.
first aha moment. There's been a few more, but he was the first. Yes.
Oh, he's the one then that sent you on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing?
Oh, that is just truly amazing how your son, watching him, mirrored what you realized you were doing too. Oh, that is just incredible. Wow. How many of us need to start taking note and seeing that?
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness. So if you saw that then, how do you go about supporting this cause to help empower women and overcome this?
Well, one of the things that I do is I am launching a virtual course next month, November, and it is focusing on, like you said in the intro, the things that smart women do to undermine their confidence. And there's 3 things, and I have come up with 3 tips to overcome them, and that is what our course is going to be about. And the biggest one for me is the not enough story, right? I kept telling myself, I'm not enough. I'm not enough to fit in. I'm not enough to figure out how to make these friends. And so that is going to be the focus, because I think it's an epidemic right now. I think the not enough stories that women tell themselves are just beyond, first of all, they're beyond our comprehension into how we got to that place compared to, let's say, men, because I don't think men have as much trouble with that as we do as women. And so focusing on how we got there, how much of it is subconscious, and what we can do to become more aware of the not enough stories we tell ourselves. I think I heard today on another group that I was on Facebook that we have 60,000 thoughts per day. And a lot of those thoughts are the not enough stories. So we need to become more aware of,
Oh, my word, that is incredible. That many thoughts a day that we're telling ourselves we're not good enough. Oh, my word. And, wow, what a journey for you to be on to help women when you're finding out that we have that many thoughts going through our minds every day. And be they subconscious or conscious thoughts, they are still there. Wow.
They certainly are.
That is truly, truly incredible. Goodness. Well, that kind of brings me, I was on your website and looking around quite a bit. I love your website. I love the name Hats Off. I have a question. Is that Hats Off? How did you come up with that name? Is there a meaning behind that?
Oh, absolutely. There's a story behind my name. So as you said in the introduction, again, my maiden name is Hatsatolius, and it's Greek. And the story behind that name is that way back in the ancient times, it used to just be Tolius, the last half of it. And the Greek people would pilgrimage to Jerusalem, much like the Muslim people. They journey to Mecca for their pilgrimage, and the Greek people would pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And once they did that, they had the beginning portion of their name added. So Hadzi is like Hajj, which means pilgrimage in Arabic, and that's the Greek version. So somebody in my family way back pilgrimaged to Jerusalem, and our name became Hatsatolius. So I thought it was very appropriate because we're all on a journey somewhere, sometime in our life, right? And so I took the hats and made it Hats Off because I want to tip my hat to all women, as in a hats off to you process, to who are journeying and paying attention to their life and who they are and what their uniqueness is and what they have to offer. And it's also a group because there are many, many things that I want to be able to offer to women and many different kind of entrepreneurial endeavors that I want to put out in the world. And so it's under my Hats Off group.
Oh, that is just beautiful. What a beautiful meaning and story behind how your website is named Hats Off. That is so beautiful. I just love that. And I see you have a book out. It's called What's Self-Love Got to Do with It? Can you just highlight just a little bit to the women, a little bit, how
Sure.
self-love influences it?
Oh, absolutely. That opportunity dropped in my lap to become a contributing author to that collaboration, and my chapter is called "Hats Off to Self-Love" because we all need to understand that until we love ourselves, we're not going to have the success that we want in our life, because everything comes from within. So we need to be able to love ourselves as we are and who we are and for what we were put on this earth. And again, I tip my hat off to women who journey into the self-love endeavor, because it can be scary. It can be a place where, you know, there's things that are going to come up in your memories, in your life, in situations that you've had to deal with that are going to be hard to deal with again. But in coming to love ourselves, we need to learn how to face those fears and overcome them. So that is what my chapter is about. It's about my journey to self-love. And there's a few tips in there, too, about for women who are maybe trying to figure out what step to take first. And I would encourage women to read that book. If they don't know what to do, at least read a book that gives you an idea of what other women have done.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Well, and how true that being able to help others and comes from within by loving yourself first. But sometimes us as women think we shouldn't take time to love ourselves first. We have to take care of everything else first.
Right, but it's like putting your oxygen mask on first, right? You have to put yours on first to help everybody else.
Right. Oh, my goodness. So do you feel that the self-love and the self-esteem kind of go together with the women?
Yes, hand in hand. And also going through the journey with other women, because a lot of women try to do this by themselves. They try to just read self-help books and find that they just end up sitting on their shelves and nothing really comes of it. They don't really get where they need to go. And I think it's because, in my opinion, we need to do this as a community, much like your network provides, right? A community where women can explore who they are by listening to other women and have the support and the encouragement. So that, to me, is the basis for the self-esteem. I don't think it's something we can procure on our own. I think it's something that we have to do together.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, how beautiful. Yeah. And Divas That Care, a community of committed women working to make the world a better place and pulling together to do it. And yes, that's when you're a community like that of women, it makes such a difference. And I know personally I have experienced that through Divas, finding other women and just sharing stories, and like these podcasts, listening to how other women are struggling. Oh, how beautiful. And something else I really loved on your website is your core values of integrity, respect, authenticity, and accountability. Oh, my goodness, how they sum so much up in 4 words. How beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How did you come by your core values? If you could share that with our listeners. Sure.
That's easy. I actually attended, like I was telling Candace on our interview, I'm a seminar junkie, so I was attending the Landmark seminars. I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with Landmark, but it's phenomenal for learning about yourself. And we talked a lot about core values, and in many other coaching programs I've been in, we've talked about core values really being the basis of how you're going to put yourself out there. So authenticity for me is big. I think anybody that knows me would say that you get what you see. My heart's on my sleeve, right? And I shoot from the hip, and it's all authentic, and I'm not trying to hide anything. And that's a huge one for me. And being accountable, that is also big, because in my work that I've done through the decades, which has been predominantly in female fields, nursing and victim services and in the school system, I have seen a lot of women who are victims and who in the victim role. And I believe that until we are accountable for our behavior and responsible for how we show up, we can't get out of that victim role.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Yeah. Wow. What a great way to have those core values and to have combined them. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was awesome. Well, and you've touched a little bit on it, but I'm going to just specifically ask you, what are 3 things women do, and what are some tips to overcome them, to kind of go back to the 3 things smart women do that undermine their confidence and success?
Mm-hmm. Very well. As I said, the biggest one is the not enough stories. We tell ourselves these stories continuously, subconsciously, consciously, out loud, wherever we are. They seem to, just, what is the word I want? They pulverize us to not be able to move at all, to not engage in any process how we want to because of the stories. And the key thing for women to realize is that they're all made up. Wherever they came from in our life, whatever happened to us, whatever situation we were in, yes, we responded in a way that we needed to maybe protect ourselves and be able to go on in life, but we held on to the story of how we are not enough, just like I did. I kept thinking there was something wrong with me, right? There's nothing wrong with me. I am who I am, and women need to stop thinking those stories. I describe it in my chapter actually like the thoughts are idling in your head, like a car idling outside, which I can hear right now in the cold in Canada. I can hear cars idling outside. And that's what the thoughts are like in your head. They just idle there and they go on and on and on like a drone and affect us so deeply. That is the biggest thing. The other thing that women do to undermine their confidence is no self-care, and specifically no guilt-free effective self-care. And I'll just go into the tips in a minute. But the third thing is, again, for women to stop trying to do everything by themselves and to stop wandering through life and ask for help. Because how another woman has been journeying might resonate with you to help you on your journey. So for tips, as far as not enough stories, my favorite one is to, next time you're feeling inadequate or you are catching yourself with one of those not enough story thoughts going through your head, take the time to write down the thought that you had and then how you felt right when you thought that. And not only the feeling, but also the images that go through your head, because our subconscious is about feeling, and our memories don't form from words, memories form from images. So I think the images that come to us are as important as the feeling that comes to us. So write down that feeling, that image, and really sit with how you're feeling and what you're experiencing. And it may be painful, but pain is a message for us. It's not something to avoid. Pain is a message for us to look into the fear, look into the pain, figure out what's going on, and just let it flow through your body. Don't avoid it. Avoidance is just pushing it down further into the subconscious, and it affects us how we don't even know, we don't even realize. So sit with that pain, sit with that thought and that image, and just let it wash over you. And I guarantee you will feel better, and you will can release that thought, release that negativity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That would be my first tip for the not enough. And as far as the self-care, paying attention to what you're doing. If you're doing anything, first of all, are you doing anything for self-care? Second of all, if you are taking time for self-care, is it effective in that you are really doing something that is serving you in your journey? So I give the example of going to the spa, maybe to take time to have your nails done or your hair done. There's nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly fine. What I'm saying is make sure that the activity that you're using is not just superficial, that it is something that is engaging your core and recognizing that you are worthy of that self-care time. And that's where being guilt-free comes in. You are worthy of having that time and of using that space, creating that space in your day or your week to care for yourself.
Oh, those are just incredible. I have been writing notes down. I hope all of our listeners have great information. And not doing it by themselves, ask for help, kind of like we've talked about, for example, through Divas, through coaching with you, through some different ways to communicate with other women to see you're not in this alone.
And that
those
actually is, thank you. That actually talks about the third tip. And what I would say to that, I came up with an acronym. It's called PAP, so women won't forget that. Only it's PAAP. And it's a tip that I try to remember, and it stands for permission, awareness, acceptance, and proceeding with a plan. So often, very, very often, I engage with women and see that they need permission to go ahead and do things for themselves. But what I want women to know is that you don't need permission from other people, you need permission from yourself. So engaging in that time again to give yourself permission to heal, be aware of not just the thoughts that are going through your head, but how you behave in the world. Just like I was standing there watching my son, I became aware that he was mirroring my behavior. So be aware of your behavior. Accept yourself for who you are. There is nothing wrong with you. And then just be you and proceed as you. And yes, please get help for the guidance that you need. It's not that we don't have the answers within us. It's just that we need to be guided to the answers within us.
Oh, yes. What a beautiful another tip. Wow. Those are just awesome. Great information. Well, you are such a busy lady with so many activities happening in your life. How do you find time to balance everything, to find time for yourself? Like you said, to give yourself permission to find time.
I'm first of all, if you do what you love, you always find the time. Second of all, I ask for help. And I just started doing that myself a few years ago. In fact, I had a coach tell me one time, you need to ask for help, because I was trying to do everything by myself. So now I ask for help. And it helps when your kids are growing. Even though I'm still very involved in their lives, you have a little bit more time when they're growing and out of the house. And so that's part of the planning, right? Plan what you're going to be doing with your life when you're an empty nester, and take that time. Like, don't get caught up in people asking you to do things that you want to say yes for, but you know you should say no. Learning how to say no is big on the list for women as well.
Yes, I will agree with that. We have a tendency to always think, oh, we can do one more thing for someone else, and it just puts what we need to do for ourselves further behind. Oh, how absolutely beautiful. Oh, my. This has been a fabulous interview. I can't believe how fast it has gone. And as we are starting to come to the close, you have given us so many tips. Is there a certain one you want to wrap up and give some real final tips to our listeners today?
I think my biggest is for women to know that they are worthy, to honor your worth, recognize your worth. And if you have hard time with that, look around who is in your environment. If you have children, if you have a special person in your life, look around and see how you show up for them because you love them, and do the same for yourself. Treat yourself like that other person.
Oh, that is wonderful. You just kind of summed it all up. I love that. Honor your worth and recognize your worth. Oh, how beautiful. And look how you are to the others. Oh, what a beautiful tip to leave our listeners with today, Nadine. Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful, beautiful. I just want to thank you again, Nadine, for being my guest, and I so hope you will return and keep us updated on all of your virtual courses you're taking, your books, all your interviews, how you're helping women, empower women around the world. We just love it. I so hope you will return again, Nadine, and be my guest.
I certainly will, and thank you again for a second interview on Divas That Care this month.
Well, you are so welcome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. I want to thank you all. You do the same, Nadine, and thank you again. And we will definitely be posting all of Nadine Hatzatolius McGill's websites and ways to connect with our listeners today. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this interview with our amazing diva, Nadine. Please share this show with your family and friends. Be sure to check out all the hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Have a fantastic day. Be kind to all. Give your animals a hug and share your love with them. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyle, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.